back to Monday Mensaje, or Monday Message, our weekly energy forecast. So before I get started, quick reminder, when I don't have time to film a video here because things are hectic, and they have been, I do post a more concise message on my Instagram or TikTok, both. So I will leave the information below if you do want to follow me on another platform. That way you stay up to date no matter if I'm able to sit here and chat with you and film a video, or if I'm just able to upload a quick, shorter, to the point message about what the week might bring us. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Okay, so this week I pulled the Four of Wands. And a few things came to mind when I pulled this just a moment ago. The first thing that came to mind was this idea of celebrations. Celebrating, yes, the holidays, because that's where we are right now in the calendar year, but more so celebrating where you are right now. Celebrating the fact that you've made it through 2021. We've had a hell of a couple years collectively. We are going through so much trauma. We have experienced intense emotional and physical hardships, okay? A lot of us have experienced deep transformations, career changes, friendship changes, changes in our family dynamic or our partnerships, romantically. So many of us are in a completely different place than we were before 2020. So I just want to say, congratulate yourself. You made it through 2021. You made it. You did it. And I'm proud of you. So take a moment to be proud of yourself because it matters. Take a moment this week to celebrate your wins, to celebrate all the things that did go right, to celebrate your resiliency, to pat yourself on the back for being so strong. It's important. If you even want to, you can make a list perhaps of things that you are proud of yourself for accomplishing this year, even if those things have nothing to do with the goals that you set in the beginning of the year. A lot of times we set these goals for ourselves for the year, things we want to accomplish during this year, and we find ourselves in a completely different place, mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically, months later. So be easy on yourself. If you didn't accomplish all those things that you meant to this year, that's okay. You're most likely feeling very different than you were when you even planned those things and created those goals for yourself. So that's why I want to sit here right now and remind you to celebrate your successes. I want you to literally make a list of the things that you are proud of accomplishing, regardless of what you set out to do this year. And not all of those things have to be tangible. If you want to celebrate your strength, your resiliency, your dedication to the things and people around you, those would be at the top of my list. So, be flexible and just admire it. Treat yourself, get yourself a little treat. Do something that makes yourself feel celebrated, that makes yourself feel like, yeah, I'm treating myself because it was a really hard year and I made it. And chances are you are way stronger than when this year started. Not because of the things that have happened to you, but because you have picked yourself back up every single day that you thought you couldn't take anymore. There's a lot of us that have hit those days this year where you're sort of just like, wow, how much more can I take? A lot of us have had those days. I'm just reflecting on some of my own. So I encourage you to be kind to yourself, nurture yourself, treat yourself, because this is a hell of a year and we made it. And that was this main Four of Wands energy that I was seeing. This also can represent the final push before the real finish line. So, you see these figures here celebrating, but oftentimes the Four of Wands symbolizes that we have so much progress to celebrate, but we aren't quite there yet. So rest, recharge, find a moment to ease your mind and come back stronger to finish that last big task or that last big push before you create the thing that you're waiting to create before you start the next job or start that different project or enter this new chapter, okay? Because you're gonna need that energy. So rest up, because we have made it so far, we're right there, but we need a little bit more energy to cross into that finish line and really, really celebrate our end goal. So I hope that means something for you. The Four of Wands energy at this time of year is also talking about these transitional times. In getting so close to the finish line, it almost makes you reevaluate where you've been along the way. So now that we are almost in the final phase of completing that next goal or entering that next chapter, it's a good time to reflect. And honestly, that's what a lot of us do at the end of the calendar year anyway. So this is a reminder of that. Reflect on the year. What worked well and what habits, mindsets, things like that did you need at the time that you don't need now? This is the perfect time to go through your physical things, your physical space, but also your emotional space within yourself to see what around me needs to go, right? Because our home should be our sanctuary. If there are things in your home that you feel like don't make you happy, remind you of somebody that you don't want to be reminded of, or just overall don't bring you joy, purge it. Get rid of it. This is the time to do that. Let's get ahead of the spring cleaning and just do it now. Why enter the year with anything in your physical space that does not bring you happiness? Because especially at a time like this, every bit of joy counts, right? And then with this purging within, I want you to look at what habits have I developed that have benefited me. So whether you started using a planner so you didn't feel so mentally overwhelmed, whether you started building time to rest actually into your schedule rather than just thinking it'll come when it comes, right? So what are the things that you were really excited you started? And then, like I said, what are those habits, perhaps people, relationships, old mindsets, old routines? What things like that need to go? You need to clear space in order to usher in these beautiful new things that are going to come with the new year. So make sure that you have space for it within you and around you. Yeah, that's a tough one. So reflect, what is working? What is not working? What can I fix? Like something like the planner. If you feel like you're extremely overwhelmed all the time and you're always reminding yourself of all the things you need to do, try incorporating lists so you have like that visual reminder instead of letting things rattle around in your brain. Or if you realize talking to a certain person stresses you out, maybe create a little space there, create a boundary. Or maybe you started to do something physical that gets your body moving, like going for a walk or taking 5 minutes of peace and quiet with your coffee in the morning. It is important for us to have these sort of like things in place in our life that keep us grounded, that no matter what's going on, we have those sort of like protective things in order. That way we don't just totally get washed away by the tsunami. So for someone like me, it is that 5 minutes of silence with my coffee in the morning. It is precious to me, and I will not let anybody call me, text me, interrupt me. I take my time, right? But I'm also fortunate enough to be able to do that. So if you're someone that isn't, then maybe think about how you could create more time for yourself, create more time for play, just for being creative, doing something you love, like a hobby, just because. Not to sell it, not to monetize it, not to do anything else with it, but just be happy. Like I said, especially in a time like this, our happiness, our peace, our joy is so, so valuable. Really create boundaries this year for yourself that don't allow others to interfere in your precious joy and your precious peace. It's really important. So that's just something that also came up for me when I was pulling this week's message. So yeah, I hope this resonates with you. It is a week of endings and beginnings. It is a week to reflect on all that we've been through, but to also be really excited for all of the new possibilities. So, I want to remind you quickly before I go that you can always reinvent yourself. You don't have to be the same person that you were a week ago, yesterday, a month ago, 2 years ago. Okay, even if it's not the beginning of the calendar year, you can always change yourself. You can always transform. And don't try to cram all of this major change and major growth into the first couple months of the year. We always think like, okay, start of the new year, what are all these things that I'm gonna do? And a lot of time it just ends up being pressure. We don't need any more pressure right now. So be kind to yourself. You have time. All right, this whole transition of the year is very it's in a lot of ways figurative, because if the dates weren't changing, it would really just be a week from now. And in any normal circumstances, in July, would you say to yourself, okay, in August and September, I'm going to be this brand new person and I'm going to fix all my problems and I'm going to work out and eat healthy and take time for myself and it's just going to happen? We would never do that. So don't pressure yourself. Relinquish that pressure. Let it go. Instead, celebrate your strength, your resiliency, and maybe sort of spend some time daydreaming about what you want this year to be for you. What would make you really happy? What day-to-day schedule or routine? Are you someone that likes to have more flexibility in your life? Are you someone that needs more of a schedule? Do you want to be more comfortable financially? Do you want to be more comfortable in your relationships? Do you want to enter a new relationship? So instead of being so hard on yourself, spend some time instead daydreaming about your perfect life, and perhaps some of those dreams will come into reality. It is hard for us to go after what we want if we don't even know what it is that we want. So, lots of food for thought. I'll end there. Like I said, all the information for my Instagram, TikTok will be below, and I hope you find me there. And yeah, have a great new year. I will see you next year. Bye.